Hello, everyone. My name is Shiva Arunachalam, and I'm on the product team here at Uber. For the next 30 minutes, I'll probably speak about how the pandemic has reshaped the product world and our thinking. So let's just dive straight in. As part of like what I would like to cover, basically we start off with what is it that we do at Uber, how do we build products here, talk a little bit about the journey of the pandemic striking, what exactly happened, and definitely have some thoughts, of course, personal, on what comes next and how we're seeing the shift in the larger tech landscape and what sort of products are we building. So let's just dive straight in. So to begin with, what is it that we do? So I'm sure you've heard of Uber and all of the different services that we provide. At our core, though, the thing that I would like to highlight is the fact that we are a software company, so we build software products. But these touch people in the real world, in the physical world, like very few other companies do. Over the last decade, we've shaped conversations in societies, forcing many behavior changes. And I'm sure you've noticed all of the discussions around the gig economy, the share economy. So this has been a pretty monumental shift. So how do we build products? So like most tech companies, we design our products in smaller teams. We build them, we ship them. But I think the key here is we test and iterate rapidly. So there's a lot of experiments going on at any given point of time where users are placed in different test groups and they get different experiences. Once we notice that a particular feature or experience works well, we ship that globally. So the Uber app is available in all continents and in a lot of different countries. So we definitely make sure that the product is robust. But I think the key here is also the fact that once rolled out globally, they need to be operated on a regional basis. This includes taking into consideration local regulations and cultures. So we want to take that when we operate Uber as a business. So just with this background about what is it that we do at Uber and how we build products, let's shift gears on the pandemic. How did we get here? I want to walk you through some of the key markers in history in what I can say is the biggest disruption in my lifetime, at least so far. So let's start with the news in Wuhan, China. I would say late 2019, there was a virus which was affecting a lot of folks. It was creating havoc in Wuhan. There was a lockdown there. But what we noticed was it spread all across the world, and the US in particular was in lockdown around March, April timeframe. One of the ads that you might have seen for Uber was we're asking everyone to stay at home because obviously we don't want people moving around during a pandemic. The impact was a lot of economies shut down. There were like people were asked to stay at home, businesses closed, the streets were empty. And this chart, which essentially captures the coronavirus crash, basically compares this event to other events throughout history and was being compared with the Great Depression. And to be honest, this hasn't ended yet. So we don't know how bad it's still going to get. But more than the fact about economies, businesses, I think the real picture that we want to capture here is the human toll. The numbers here just seem mind-boggling. Over 8 million people have been affected by the virus and still counting. Over 449,000 people have died across the world. And imagine all of this is happening in a space of 2 or 3 months. This, in my mind, is just like a war. In the last 3 months, we've also noticed 40 million of our fellow countrymen being unemployed and filing for unemployment support. So if you think about what the human toll looks like, the human cost is very real and it has affected a lot of people. So what opportunity does it give us as product managers and technology companies to fill this void? So one thing that we've all noticed is this: the pandemic clearly brought forth the value and importance of technology. You had everyone literally dependent on tech products for their daily needs, work, entertainment, music, books, even food and groceries. This was never seen before. As you can see, what this means, the products themselves have skyrocketed adoption. It also gave companies a chance to rethink who they were hiring and how do we reorganize the workforce. Companies now needed a lot more employees for essential services. So you saw a spike in hiring in those sectors. But it also gave us product folk a chance to rethink the products of the future, rethink how we build products. So this takes me to the next slide around acceleration of specific trends. The best place to understand what products and businesses need to be built for this era is to look at the changing behaviors. One of them have been around the retail e-commerce space. I'm sure many of you have seen these charts. The one on the top basically points out that in the last 8 weeks of March and April, you noticed the adoption and the penetration rate of the US e-commerce market has been more than what the last 10 years have basically brought about. So this shows that there's like an exponential adoption of e-commerce as a whole by the country. The other things that you notice here is people searching for online shopping. The trends around those have skyrocketed as well. What you've also noticed is what are people spending their money on? Groceries has actually seen a spike, and obviously travel sector has fallen because people are no longer traveling anywhere. The second sort of big shift that we've all noticed is around remote work and learning. Products like Zoom, Hangout have seen supercharged adoption. And when you think that the impact the pandemic has had on school-going children, you basically have a captive audience for new products in this space. So let's just zoom out a bit. Think about the whole country staying at home, everyone working from home, everyone learning from home. What sort of shifts and what sort of opportunities do we see now? The third trend that we've noticed is around gaming and entertainment. Without concerts, sport leagues, what else are people going to do for entertainment? So that's when you see streaming services seeing an adoption, and then gaming services like Steam, where a lot of people have gone online to play online games. The fourth trend that we see here is around healthcare. We can't go see doctors now because we are all expected to stay at home. So why don't we bring the doctors to us? What you see here is telemedicine has seen a skyrocketed adoption, and a lot of insurance companies are now covering telemedicine as well. So the thing that I want to highlight here is these are not small shifts. Every sector that we can touch has seen a big shift towards a remote adoption of different products here. Now, with respect to like what the bets look like, I see four main bets. The first one is around ambient wellness with contactless options. So an example is since wellness is top of mind for everyone, the contactless solution basically have the attention of every consumer. You don't want to be touching credit card readers. You don't want to be opening doors. You don't want to take public transit. Think about the options that you have here to build products and solutions. Just in this sector, I know Uber's introduced two new products around Uber Connect and Uber Direct. So, and I know Apple Pay has skyrocketed, and then you have a lot of contactless payment options coming through as well. So there's a lot of new solutions being introduced in this space. The second big shift is around e-commerce, a shift more towards new marketplaces and AR apps. The innate experience of how a person shop has changed. People now expect not only to get information from apps, but also have the experiential walkthrough of products that they're shopping for. So you see a lot of new apps in the shopping arena that give you a more immersive experience about shopping for different products. The third big sector that I see here is around virtual companionships with smart assistants. So not everyone is happily locked up with the ones that they love at home. So for them, the advent of virtual companionship through smart assistants and something more personal is a huge bet, especially as people no longer are social. The final experience or bet that I've seen is around the virtual experience economy. So companies like Airbnb, TikTok, Instagram, they've all seen spike of adoption in new products in this space. With no social gatherings like concerts, sporting events, a lot of experiences have gone virtual. I actually have seen so many actors and musicians now hold Instagram live concerts and shows because that's the easiest way to reach their end customer. The same thing has been around TikTok. The adoption of TikTok and all the content on it has seen a skyrocketed adoption because of the virtual experience economy. This sector is ripe for innovation. So if you think about how we basically have shifted, and this is sort of more under the execution arm and trying to be a little more laser focused, but the point that I want to bring up here is on how product teams have changed and how they're approaching problem solving in the time of this pandemic. A lot of what I've discussed earlier completely hinges on any team's ability to be laser focused in their execution. So here's a few points on that. The first being that there is no business as usual anymore for a lot of teams. When you see changing behaviors, the status quo no longer is the baseline. Which means leaves me to the second and third points here, which is constrained problem solving and faster execution. One thing I have noticed across product teams, and I've had chats with other product managers in other companies, is the fact that teams are now setting goals for shorter windows and quickly iterate and test to prove out those hypotheses. Gone are the days when we have 6-month roadmaps. All we can do right now is plan for shorter timeframes and take on a few problems we would like to get solved. And finally, our experience with distributed teams makes it easier to transition to a world where everyone's remote. But think of this being distributed teams on steroids because you really have no other option. There is no option to walk into an office and start whiteboarding solutions. You have to do this remotely. Which also means that communication needs to be nimble and timely, and the entire focus is on achieving a good balance between working at home and living at home. So you need to be able to draw the lines there. This can only be achieved if we are all focusing on the right problems in smaller chunks, quickly measuring our impact and repeating the process. We've definitely noticed this at work where the meetings have been more laser focused. There's no more talks about what we want to achieve in like next year or the end of the year. It's more about what can we do in the next 3 months that is going to move the needle. So with that, I would like to conclude and get to the key takeaways of my own understanding of how the pandemic is shifting the product world. The first step is to understand that the world has changed. Behaviors are changing, which also means that behaviors can be shaped. And this is a great opportunity for anyone thinking about building new products. It's about catching that wave. The second one is about the dependency on technology. I know like towards the end of last year, there were a lot of questions about the sustainability of tech companies as a whole because they were becoming too powerful, they were becoming too big. But the real question is, what is the real value add for technology? And during this time, I don't think anyone is questioning that our lives would have been so much more different if tech products did not exist. So, which also means that any new opportunities, any new products that we build, we want to keep in mind safety first and bring in those elements ahead of time during the experience, designing the experience of a product rather than keeping it um, towards the end. And finally, there's no more 10, 20-year horizons for product building. That future that we all thought about is actually happening right now. So if you embrace it, the chances are you will be successful. Thanks.